I will talk about the pros and cons of RAW format in this presentation. So what is RAW format? RAW is simply an uncompressed or losslessly compressed digital image file format. It's often referred to as digital negative because RAW files themselves aren't typically used as finished images, but contain all the data necessary for creating a polished final image. RAW files records and retain all the information captured by the sensor. This takes maximum advantage of any given camera's dynamic range capabilities. The ability to accurately record the salto transitions between the lightest and darkest parts of a scene. This translates into properly exposed highlights and shadows that don't lose detail. This is an example of a JPEG in a RAW format. Since RAW files are lossless, uncompressed files, they don't exhibit any of the JPEG-related compression artifacts that can really distract from the HD quality of an image. Anything you do to a RAW file leaves the original data intact and instead essentially creates a set of instructions for how image should look when it's saved in a different format. This way you never have to worry about ruining a file. If you make changes that you're unhappy with, simply start over with the original image. Here are the disadvantages. RAW files are significantly bigger than JPEGs, sometimes 2 to 3 times bigger. This means you will be able to fit fewer files on your memory cards and hard drives, but storage devices are becoming ever cheaper, so having larger, higher quality files isn't really a deal breaker. Every camera manufacturer has their own protocols for how RAW files are handled. Canon software can't read Nikon RAW files. Software can read Canon RAW files. These proprietary formats can however be converted to open source DNG format, making your files future-proof and universally accessible. In conclusion, the negatives of shooting RAW are mildly outweighed by the positives. Of course, there are those who may need to shoot JPEGs or prefer to shoot JPEGs in certain scenarios, and that's perfectly fine. You do whatever works best for you. But if you're concerned with getting the very best quality out of your images and having the freedom and flexibility to revisit and change those images at a later date, then shooting RAW is the way to go.